Business environment for social, legal and political environment. So it consists of P6, where you describe the political, legal and social factors. You'll have to look at both China and the UK. M3, you'll have to look at the political, legal and social factors in both the UK and China. And D2, you need to evaluate the future changes. So basically you're still working for this company, the Kaku Services, and you need to describe basically how social, legal and political factors influence British and multinational companies in two environments, so basically China and the UK. They want you to look at Tesco's. If you choose another one though, as long as they operate in both environments, I'm happy, but they need to operate in both. In a report you describe two political factors. Okay. Now you need to describe these two political factors and what happens in both China and in the UK, not just one or the other. So that's political stability, infrastructure, so stuff like transport and the internet, enhancing skills of the working population, so education, training, research, organisations to support business, membership of the international trading communities or the European Union. You need to see how it impacts on both China and the UK and how it impacts the business operations, so anything like HR, sales, marketing, production, procurement and finance. Basically exactly the same as what you've done in the previous assignment, but for political factors. Two legal factors. Protecting consumer law, so these are basically things where legislation's been passed, basically laws have been passed. So consumer and employment laws, consumer protection, ensuring fair and honest trading, e.g. competition laws. You need to say again exactly the same thing. What happens in China, what happens to the UK, and what happens to a specific area. So have a look at the little bullet points at the side, so HR, consumer, sales, marketing, production, procurement. What I would like you to do is to make sure you try and use a couple of laws, especially for the British side. It's harder obviously when you talk about China, but you do have a lot of research which has been given to you and we've gone through it in class. And then 3 social factors, so demographic issues, changes in structures, attitudes to work or religions, attitudes to male and female roles. You need to say how this, again, with those things you need to say what happens in China and the UK, and exactly the same. You look at the exact same areas, no difference at all, and that's P6. Fairly straightforward. So in the report you need to analyse how Tesco has adapted their business activities to political, legal and social environments in both the UK and China. So you need to select 4 of the business activities that have been adapted for both the Chinese and the UK, for the business. So HR, customer service, sales, marketing, production, procurement and finance. You need to basically look at how they've adapted to the social, legal and political environment for 4 of those areas. So for example, you could look at something like marketing. Would it be easier or harder for this company to do a digital marketing campaign, for example, in China, and as the UK? In terms of human resources, what's the difference in the way they treat staff in China and the UK? Do they have to consider different needs because of different environments, i.e. like religious and cultural needs? Is there an ageing population or issues like that which are going to have an impact? If you think about those things, you should be able to get something out of it as well. You should be able to get a good comparison between the two. Your report will need to use evidence, so this could be statistics on population trends or specific laws. So I just want to put the Consumer Protection Act 1988, so make sure you just put some data in. That was missing from assignment 3 from some people, and I referred them for it. D2, you need to evaluate how future changes in political, legal and social factors may have impacted your strategy for your chosen business. You need to analyse these. What I would say is, again, look at the brief in the assignment 4 folder, and click on the BBC Census comparison, which you can find there, and also the information which you can for Tesco's, which talks about how they operate multinationally. So I will need this very quickly as an assignment, but give it your best shot.